Hi, everyone. Hey,
Good
everyone.
morning from London.
Good morning from London. I am Matt Scott, the Global Community Manager for NASA's International Space Apps Challenge. And Jen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Actually, I'm the lead for Space Ops in London.
Yeah, so Jen, could you tell the global audience where we are right now and what we're
So
doing?
we're at Pivotal's office in London. Pivotal is a tech company. They've just been acquired by VMware recently. So they've been generous enough to host us for the whole weekend. There's some of their team here looking after us. And yeah, I mean, we had, I believe, a good evening. You know, some people were working till 6 a.m. this morning. Some left to get some more sleep. And yeah, some are still here working. Some are behind us. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think this one we might want to call in some people to just chat about what they've been working on.
Before we even do that, one thing I
What do
want
I
to
know?
ask is just your Space Apps story. So when did you get involved in Space Apps? Why did you get involved in Space Apps? How does that fit into your other work in the community?
Okay. So I initially got involved with Space Apps as a judge, and then participant judge, and then I got involved for organizing it. And yeah, I'm interested in this because when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut, but that didn't happen.
It could still
It's fine.
happen.
It could still. We'll see. Yeah, send me a free ticket to wherever.
You never know who's
to-
watching.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's why I'm involved. Yeah, it kind of keeps me close to things I kind of love.
And so I think we could pull in some participants. We're also about to connect with the Singapore event.
in a bit.
And so, Jen, I could stay here. We could bring them over if that
We
works
could
best.
say, let me call Paula.
Yeah, sure thing. And so
From
just as
Pivotal?
we get started and get ready to pull over some other people, Paula from Pivotal is coming right over, and we're live right now on the live stream. Paula, do you want to
Hi.
introduce yourself and just tell us about what this space is used for, why you're here, why we're here?
Yes, so Jen. So my name is Paula Kennedy. I work here at Pivotal. I'm the senior director looking after two teams here at Pivotal that do solutions and education. And Jen approached me and asked if I would help out offering the space to host this event this year, which we were very happy to do. I've never actually been to a hackathon before, so it's been quite exciting for me to see how it goes.
What are your impressions of your first hackathon?
Yeah, it takes some energy, I think. But it's been good. It's been really exciting. The buzz in the room yesterday was really good. Everybody came together, so lots of people came on their own, which I was quite surprised about.
Yeah.
I thought people might show up in fully formed teams, but actually lots of individuals came along, which was great. And I was also really pleased to see so many different types of people. Somehow I expected it to be more like the classic tech, all kind of white male faces, but it actually ended up being
Very
much more
diverse.
of a mixed group of people, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I liked your talk about how important diversity is for this event.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I feel like I say it so many times, it's burned into my head, but I'm always talking about how, like, I mean, the diversity in general, but specifically even just in terms of, like, the skills that people bring to the table, like, artists, storytellers, and students and newcomers are welcome, just like engineers and coders and scientists and more technical people are welcome. And so I think that kind of thing helps get more diversity in the room also, because it shows that Space Apps is not just for like one type of person. I say Space Apps is for everyone. It's really for anyone who wants to be part of it. Really, people could still show up if they want
I mean,
to.
some people are turning up today.
Yeah.
Actually, they were emailing last night. Some people, you know, before the hackathon were worried that they're not a fit for a tech hackathon, because they were asking, "Oh, I'm a designer. Can I still join?" I always say yes, because you bring, you know, like other skills that the team will need. So as she was saying, it's very diverse.
Yeah, so the way the teams formed together yesterday was really interesting, and people pitching their ideas and coming together. So that was really great.
Yeah, that was amazing to see. Like, even looking at the project page now, and then being here to see everyone when they were in the room, like, I think one group came as a team, or two groups came as a
Yeah,
team.
we actually have some people
Not that
from
many.
King's College
Yeah.
Space Society. We have people from Imperial College, and people came all the way from Cambridge University as well.
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah, that's good. It's a good mix of students, professionals.
But we'll meet some of them soon. I know some. I saw
Some
someone
are really-
sleeping on
Some
the
people
couch
are
who
waking up.
disappeared a second ago. But yeah, some people are still a little passed out, but maybe some will come
I'm
over
gonna get some of
and
them.
join us. And so we're live right on the Space Apps live stream. Thanks for anyone who's tuning in right now. And if you have any questions, I believe if you click on the link, you could go on YouTube and then type in questions into the chat. Hi there, someone's watching live and commented. Do you have, if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat on the YouTube page. Any question that you have, what to do for Space Apps? So you can just go on spaceappschallenge.org and register at an event near you, wherever you are in the world, if you're interested in getting involved. If you're here in London, you could still come and join in and
us.
register. And then there's also the virtual event, which is another opportunity to join in. And I'm seeing someone
Paula,
pop up in the
thanks, Paula.
background. Thanks for joining us, Paula.
Okay.
So we have
Got
another guest
Someone
here.
from one of the teams.
Awesome.
So what's the name of your team, and what are you guys working on? What's your name?
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Marcel. Our team name is Cuisine Emprendedor. It's a name from our country. We're from Ecuador. We're
Okay.
came to UK here to study. Currently, we're working on a project called Out and Away. We are making a little game about James Webb and about his development with the telescope. It's a really interesting game. I hope that we finish it and we can manage to play it.
Yeah, awesome. So here, you could even take a seat. You could take Jen's seat if you want. So I want to ask, why did you show up with the team to this year's Space Apps event,
let me have a
or
look.
did you show up alone?
No, I show up with my team.
Awesome. So how did you guys hear about? I think you kind of see them in the background. I'll move this a little so you could see them. Yeah, how did you guys hear about Space Apps?
What's
Yeah.
Well, my friends works in IBM, so
Oh, nice. Cool. So are you excited? What are you excited about this weekend, or are you just focused on your project? Because it's NASA. Because it's NASA. Yeah, I think that's part of it. And I see some of the NASA stickers on the table over there. But we're definitely distracting you guys. Is there anything else you want to say to the global? This is on the global live stream on the Space Apps website. So is there anything you want to share or say, or any advice you have for anyone else who's working? Also, I could totally here. I'll come over because that way I could hear you better, up close and personal. If you want to introduce yourself and
Hi,
whatever.
I'm
you
Lenny.
want to say.
Hi, I'm Alexis. So, my name is Salvador. So yeah, all the best, guys. Do something cool.
Do something good.
Yeah.
All the best. Have some bees in your. I don't know if you can catch that. Have a bee in your solution.
It's
But
for our games.
awesome.
Creative.
Awesome. Yeah, get creative. Yeah, that's a big part of it. Having a good way to form your solution and talk about it and present it. So I'm gonna come back over here. Is there anything else you want to say? Because I just walked away from you.
Yeah, it says.
Hope that everyone is having fun now.
Yeah.
And have a good day.
Yeah. Right. Have a good one. All right. So we are just about to get set on the global live stream, streaming with Singapore, and so we're connecting right now.
Oh, now I.
And again, if anyone is watching now or watching after, again, visit spaceappschallenge.org and you can check out the projects that they're working on, that others are working on here at Space Apps London. And also, you could use hashtag SpaceApps or check out hashtag SpaceApps to learn more. But right now, for context, as part of the global stream, it is about just after 10 a.m. here in London, and we're connected on
The video is on.
another computer with Space App Singapore. And so I'll spin this around in a second to show you that. Wow. A little bit more of what the system is working on. So right now we are also on mute, but Jen is getting the team set up to talk with the Singapore event. So let's see. Put this down for a second.
Hi, Malay. Can you hear us? Can you see us on the video or not? Oh, there you go. All right, all right. Let me turn off WhatsApp. Hi.
Right, we're going to turn this around so you can see the conversation that's happening here.
Singapore.
Maybe we could tilt it a little bit
I know
more.
it's a bit of a. We're
Oh
improvising.
no, that looks good. You can see them clearly.
Yeah. So, Malay, can you hear us?
Oh, nice. Let me just walk to it.
Hi, Adam.
Oh, nice.
So we've got Adam and Malay from Singapore. Adam, you're on the live stream. We're on the live stream. We're on the live stream.
Walk around to
Yeah.
the other side.
You have 20 teams. Wow.
And I guess with the younger participant in and the oldest participants, I'm not going to name but I'll say I'm the old person, I'm in the 60s, so we've got a broad spectrum of people here attacking a whole range of different challenges. So certainly interesting, there's quite a lot of people dealing with rising seawater issue, because that's something that's very relevant to where we live in Asia, and Singapore is no different to the rest of the folks in this region. So that's been quite popular. So what I'm going to do is, I think it's going to hand over one of the teams just to come and stand in front of this very sophisticated laptop and tell you a little bit about what they're doing. And so we've got 3 teams lined up to speak to you, and then I guess you're going to offer a couple of teams to speak back about what they're doing in London.
Yeah.
Sounds
Sure.
like a plan.
I'll
Yeah.
come back over there again.
Okay. Is Lena with you?
Okay.
Hi.
As well as if there's any errors,
It's breaking up a little bit. Okay, thank you. Is Lena with you? Maybe we can have Lena on the. Wonderful. Adam, is Lena with you?
She's gone on, so.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I know it's the end of the day there, right?
She'll be back here for the Thanksgiving presentations tomorrow.
Great. Yeah, we can call. Hang on. Let me get.
All right, so we're live with Singapore. We just heard from one of the team members and one of the participants, and now one of our teams is coming over,
Yeah.
and so you're going to be on these two cameras,
Yeah,
but
you're on two cameras.
talking to Singapore and their event right
And the
over
world.
here. And the world. This is the live stream, but this is the chat with the Singapore event. And so, do you want to introduce yourself? Talk about. Yeah.
So we have one person from one of the teams. Maybe you can just chat about what you're doing, what you're working on.
So my name's Sue, and our idea is to work on the Sustainable Development Goals Challenge. Well, that's the plan right now, but when they turn up, we might decide to change our idea a little bit. So we're gonna work on an app to help people be more sustainable, live a more sustainable life. The idea is that we're using data to figure out how healthy their community is. So we'll do a bit of data analysis. It's going to be really user interactive.
Sounds very interesting. How many people are in your team?
So we have three.
Okay. Great.
And then, how did you hear about Space Apps? Did you come with a team or by yourself?
I came by myself, and I think it was through a meetup thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Sure.
yeah.
I can't quite remember.
We reached out to several communities.
Yeah. Do you go to a lot of hackathons or groups, by the way?
I have in the past, not so much recently.
Yeah.
So this is my first one in a
Nice.
while.
Cool.
Okay.
I've always
Awesome.
enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a good way to learn.
Thank you.
Definitely.
How many teams do you have in London?
I think at the moment there's 9 registered. There might be some more later. So-
How many teams?
So online we can see 9, but there might be some more registering later when they come back.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm now going to hand over to the ladies who are doing a very interesting one around.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for stopping in. If anyone else wants to be on the live stream, just send them on over. Cool, and we are about to hear from another team. Hi, how's it going? Hey. Data visualization tool.
Factors that are not important to the environmental, social, economic, and healthcare factors as well. So from there, we actually got all the response and generate the content response to export the region. Yeah.
It's exciting. And is it, by the way, is this your first Space Apps event? Is this your first Space Apps event?
Is this the first time?
It is?
Second.
Oh, your
it's the
second one. Wow,
Oh, that's
okay.
good.
Congratulations.
You did very well last time, if I remember.
Did you win last time?
We did polar exploration. Yeah, we really again did
Well, good. I mean, we've got a good retention rate. We're getting a lot of people
Coming back,
so,
yeah.
Nice.
Very pleased with that. And so what's been the biggest challenge so far with this year? For you?
technical side. Basically the technical factors.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that to you guys? Have you got someone else who got the right to speak?
Yes, hang on.
Sure, we're getting some team members over. And by the way, I realized I didn't introduce myself on the live stream, but I'm Matt Scott, the Global Community Manager for Space Apps. I live in Washington, D.C. I worked with Lena at Second Muse as part of the Space Apps Global Organizing team. And now we have another team that's joining in. But it's great to see people coming back year after year. So I hope that you come back again. And
So we have two people from one from
Yes.
King's College London and one from Imperial. Yeah, it was with Imperial. Yeah. So yeah, you want to just chat about what you're working on?
Yeah. So our focus today is all about how can we as individuals help reduce carbon emission, and so we're looking at food in particular and how we can basically change the way we eat in order to reduce carbon emission produced by food. So we're looking at how can we create an app that basically shows you that basically works as a calculator, a carbon footprint calculator for your food, and then gives you recommendation on how you can reduce that.
And the one of the main things we're going to do is to portray what you can actually do and the impact you can make. Is we're using the data created by the Goddard Space Institute. So they created a series of climate models, and there was a fairly famous paper, at least several years ago, about this. So they basically looked at 4 different possible trends in CO2 levels, and for each of these, they calculated possible temperature rises from an average temperature between 1960 to 2000 or something like that. So what we ended up doing was, based on these models and this data, we looked at basically how the CO2 levels would increase over time given your consumption. So the idea is, what if everyone on Earth produced this amount of CO2 you produce? And of course, we to sort of like keep track of the industry and stuff like that, we sort of like this consumer-based CO2 level. So it's based on stuff you consume as well, not just the direct emissions. And then from there, we do a bit of statistics to figure out what the expected heat, temperature change would be if everyone on Earth contributed the same way you do. And the idea is, if you can get below the average, you can see, if everyone made those decisions, then maybe we might be able to stop or at least slow down climate change.
So, what drew you to participate in the hackathon in the first place? What interests you most about the whole
Well,
activity?
for me, there are 2 main reasons. One is to improve my data analytical skills. So I wanted to come to work with people so I could just get better, especially with Python. And the second is because I like space. I did aerospace materials. So I've always been focused on how do we travel? How do we make travel a lot faster? And then how do we produce materials that can withstand different conditions and especially temperature? So space has always been an interest to me from a material point of view. So I thought, let me come and see what this is about.
Great.
Yeah, for me as well. Hackathons are fun, so
Yeah.
why not do it?
how many hackathons have each of you been to?
I think this is my 3rd hackathon.
Wow.
For me, a few. I
few
think I've lost,
hackathons.
maybe like 5 or 6, something like that.
It's fun, right? It's fun to go to
Some of the
hackathons.
younger ones have been in 10 hackathons, I guess. They're not even 10 years old.
So we have another team. We have another team here from Cambridge.
Yeah. Yeah. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
So
you
we
much.
have 2 more people here from
Yeah, come on over.
Cambridge.
You can even get comfortable.
Cambridge University, right? So they came all the way from
From Cambridge.
From Cambridge,
Yeah.
which is like, and I was like thinking of how much, like an hour away?
Yeah, it's an hour.
An hour away from London?
Oh, I look so bad.
No, it's fine, bro.
Not slapped on. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. We didn't have to travel too far. Everything's nice and close in Singapore. It's quite convenient. So pretty easy for us. So we got a lot of people here. So which challenge are you guys working on?
So we're working on Spot the Fire version 2.0. So we decided on that challenge from sort of a personal reason, because my parents had a house that nearly burnt down because of a fire. So we really wanted to focus on that and try to create like this app that prevents or warns citizens of when there's a fire that's like close, and like how you can within the community help each other to prevent the spread or like save lives, and possibly also like your house.
I mean, I think it's one of the great things about this challenge. We've got a number of people here who have also been personally impacted. Displacements, whether it was floods and what have you. So bringing that very personal element to building solutions for the betterment of everyone, I think is really great. So getting this global perspective of what's important in Asia would be different to what's important in North America and South America, Europe. It's just kind of nice just to see what's different and what's the same. So I think that's like anything. Something as global as this, it's very compelling. It is bringing people together around common issues, which is pretty cool. Now, one of our final team that's going to chat is doing something very cool. I haven't seen it yet, but I know it involves a robot. So come on down, guys.
I'm gonna go right behind you and switch us around so you can see everyone in here.
Hello guys. Nice to meet you.
Built in a room.
So as a reconnaissance firefighters who's responding to fire. So the idea is that right now, for example, the drones cannot see what's happening. So we hope that using the robot, we will bring more situational awareness to those people who's responding to fire. Right?
Wow.
One of our simulations.
Oh my goodness.
This is the robot that we have here.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
Basically, it will be
Oh nice.
Can you see it?
So what does the robot do? Is it to identify survivors, or like what's the point of the robot? To explore the surroundings?
Sure. So we foresee that in the initial part will be teleoperated. Yeah. But as you can see, as what Benito has mentioned, people can't see in fire of the smoke and
Yeah.
So we do have 3D point cloud data, which we hope that will be useful for officers. Because laser works in fire, and even without light. Or with this data, we able to update as well the constant fire update. Because the fire data might not be accurate.
Yeah.
So on the ground itself, we can probably make it more accurate and more real time for the officials and authorities to respond.
Cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. So we're just more creating an app rather than like an actual concept, which is just serves also just as a fire warning app, and like how the fire would spread, and if it does eventually reach you, how you can, with like your community, try and prevent the fire and like mitigate it. We don't have anything to show you right now because we're still working on it, but that's the plan.
Let's see if we can combine the app with the robot.
Yeah,
exactly.
That would be great.
You could deploy the robot from the app and just make it.
Oh, maybe tomorrow we can see.
Yeah.
All the things from around the world if we can sort of find some mechanism to combine and pick the best of the best and
Yeah, of
put it
course.
together. It'd be pretty cool.
Mm.
All
Great.
right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
So I think we'll go back to regular programming.
Okay.
Thank you.
Switch this around a bit. All right.
Thank you for your
We're back.
All right. I think
I suppose we can't share the room, can we?
yeah.
It's closer.
We'll just give you a quick swirl if we can.
Oh, sure.
That's a nice space.
I have to feel like I have to reach over to so that they can see us. But
Unfortunately, we're still cable bound here. We're tied up, so there we go.
yeah, we're plugged into.
Yeah, so Lena had a good time here this morning. She was pleased just to see how everything was operating and was, yeah, generally very happy. So hopefully we get a good mark.
Yeah, you're doing incredible work, and I mean the reason that Lena's there is just because of the commitment and the great work that you all have done in Singapore, not just preparing for this year's event, but over the years with Fiducia and otherwise. And so we appreciate that a lot on the global organizing team. So you already have great marks, A+, and A+ here in London too.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting bigger each year, which is great.
Yeah.
And talking to Lena, sort of trying to work out how we can build on it and try to sort of leverage the good work. Actually, not come over here. We actually have this is Martin. He was in one of the teams in the first year that won the Galactic Impact Prize globally.
Oh wow!
Our first year, one of the teams we put up won the global prize, which actually got me to go to Cape Canaveral with the team. Martin wasn't able to go, but I managed to go.
Yeah, no, tell us all about, introduce yourself and tell us about your project. It'd be great to hear a lot more about your project. Oh, could you speak up a little bit?
We weren't expecting to win. It was a little bit of a surprise. So we did. I had dinner with a friend, and we thought, okay, we'll do something together. So he had a friend in Paris who we hooked up with. We're kind of the local and remote team. So he had this thing going with radiation studies about aircraft crew. And air travel. And there was a challenge about that. So we had the domain expert, and then we found two UX guys Adam had brought in the hackathon. And then we started thinking, okay, well, how can you quantify, like, as per the challenge, radiation exposure for flights? And so we managed to decide, okay, yes, you can do that. So that it was feasible. We didn't have to prove that we could do it, because you know that it's already been done. And then it became a question of storytelling. So how, like, okay, so you get a number, and that's your radiation exposure for flights. So what?
Yeah.
But how do you compare it with, like, radiation exposure for whether you're on a flight to somewhere else, or an X-ray, or some other, a dental X-ray or a CT scan?
Yeah.
And then we took it one step further. So what? Okay, so it's this many X-rays. But how likely is it that you're going to die?
Yeah.
And then you look at the real world impact, and then we validated our calculations using Wikipedia and maths, and you could actually make the story all the way through. We interviewed some airline crew, and got the human factor as well. So at the end of the day, you can look for it online if you go to 2017. It's called Radaway.
Radaway. Oh yeah, I've heard of Radaway, and it's on what year was that? Was that 2012 or 2013?
No, 2017.
2017. Oh wow, I was gonna say I thought it seems like a long time ago that I heard of Radaway, but yeah, it's SpaceX.
Radaway is the name of the computer game thing for Fallout.
Oh, okay, that's probably why. But nice. Thanks for being back and being part of Space Apps this year, and nice stickers on your shirt, and also nice shirt overall. People can see that, but to me, awesome stuff. Yeah, keep coming back. Definitely keep coming back.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah. This year, so he's been doing which is great.
Totally.
He arrived back from the US yesterday, so this morning something. So he's jet lagged, but that's fine.
Hey, I understand. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Great. Awesome. Jen, I guess I would say any
Well,
thoughts
I
or
guess
anything to
good luck.
share?
And are we speaking again tomorrow, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to do it because our presentation's at 3:00, which is very
Yeah.
early for you.
Early
guys.
for us, yeah. I think we can
Yeah.
skip it.
Well, I mean, we can message and see if we're all
Yeah.
feeling. If you're feeling
Yeah.
very perky,
We'll see how it goes tomorrow.
see how we go. Okay, have a good rest of the day. Thanks for putting it together.
Enjoy.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks. Great connecting with you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That button. Leave.
Great.
Awesome. So we are.
So
I guess we're back. We're still
back to
live.
regular
It's still
programming.
working.
My
Any?
eyes are so puffy.
Do you have any? I feel like we're all just tired, and
Yeah.
but that's part of the fun of Space Apps, being tired and then
Hackathons, yeah.
working, and then at the end of the weekend you present your solution or you finish
Yeah.
your event and see all the solutions.
Yeah, I'm
But
looking forward to all the presentations tomorrow.
yeah,
That's always a good time.
do you have any other words of wisdom to share? Because you have experience as a local lead. You have experience in the tech community with Women Who Code and a number of other organizations, and so I'm wondering any advice or words of wisdom that you have to share.
For participants
You could say as
globally.
much as you
Well,
want.
yeah, I guess you really just try and enjoy it. Don't be too stressed about it. At the end of the day, we're here to have fun.
Yeah.
We want to find solutions, but we also want to have fun along the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really it. And just do your best. Make sure you actually prepare for the presentations because most of the time, like demos fail during the presentation. It's a limited amount of time, so there's no chance sometimes to come back from that.
Yeah.
So just prepare for the presentations to your judges tomorrow.
Yeah. I have one more question, I think. So do you have any other stories or experiences, like any project that stands out to you from Space Apps or anything that stands out to you from Space Apps? While we're here with you and live, I figured I would ask.
Of course, I'll be focusing on our London winners like
Yeah.
Canaria, who won
Yeah.
in 2016.
Mhm.
Who went to the global competition and won it, and I think they're now a commercial company,
Yeah,
right?
they are.
So it's nice to see success stories like that are really going to the commercial phase rather than just the ideas phase. So hopefully some of our teams here will repeat that. We'll see.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen.
How about
but-
you, Matt?
Oh, me?
How long have you been involved with the Space App? Now I'm
Since
interviewing you.
since I've been involved in Space Apps since 2016. It was funny. So I work at an organization called Second Muse, and through Second Muse, work on Space Apps. Second Muse has partnered with NASA on Space Apps since the very beginning in 2012, and it was inspiring for me because I had been to hackathons before, and I even went to one hackathon that intentionally was focused on 50-50 women and men, or at least 50% gender ratio at the hackathon, because of just how how bad really the issue is when it comes to either women not involved in computer science or not staying involved because of those dynamics. And so I went to Space Apps, and I remember I met this one woman, Medina, who was she introduced herself to me and was kind of shy at the time, but we had a 30-minute conversation, and she was a 46-year-old mother of two. She was a refugee in the US and came 10 years before, but then had been a stay-at-home mom for about 9 years, just raising her kids. And so she was saying she joined Space Apps to show her kids that like you could do anything and show your kids that you could use tech for good and actually to make a difference. And so to me, it was like Space Apps was just more than a hackathon. It's more than just something to do over the weekend. It has a real difference for a lot of people. And so that's my story. But you asked any other questions that you have that we should, while we're here, that I should answer?
Okay. How much time have we got?
Anytime.
So, okay. Obviously not necessarily just about Space App, but this is your first visit in London, right?
It is.
How are you finding it so far?
You know what? London's a really nice city, but I've been so focused on Space Apps, and that's kind of what, like, just the nature of Space Apps, as you know. Hopefully, I'll see more of London today. Actually, after more of the participants are working this afternoon.
Get
some time in London and sightseeing, but it's interesting. Everyone. I think the thing that you learn, because this is my 4th time traveling, going anywhere for Space Apps, and I think I've realized people are a lot more similar. I'm not surprised by this point, but people are a lot more similar than different all over the world. Like, someone was asking me what it's like to live in the US, and I'm saying it's not like that. It's really not that much different. You have a lot of cultural differences here and there, but we're all a lot more similar and have a lot more in common, which is something that Space Apps reminds me of too, because we're all able to bond over that, and it brings us together in that way. And so, I mean, we have that in common. All of us in the room have that in common, and I think that's pretty special.
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're obviously very excited and looking forward to the presentations tomorrow. And I'm sure we're going to hear about the projects and ideas from other cities as well. We're looking at the Slack channels and all the Twitter accounts that have been live tweeting. So yeah, it's very exciting. And good luck to all the participants.
Yeah, and just in closing, I'll say very exciting. I haven't checked our registration numbers today, but as of yesterday, this is the biggest Space Apps event ever, with more than 25,000 participants.
Wow. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, it was more than 25,500 the last time I checked. And then more people are joining and signing on and making their accounts still, of course. But 2,500 or 2,500?
25,000.
Not 25,000. I think I just said 2,500 again. But 25,000 plus participants worldwide, and about 80 countries or so, and about 225 events. We'll have those exact numbers by the end of the weekend. But this is exciting, and I'm gonna stop distracting you, because I know there's probably a lot of other things to do. But thanks everyone for joining, and if you want to get involved in Space Apps, if you're not already,
you can still sign up.
You can still sign up. There's still time,
yeah.
And spaceappschallenge.org is where you can find that information. I'll just mention.
So they can sign up.
They could sign
for the virtual.
They could sign up for the virtual event, which they still have time for. They could sign up for some in-person events, especially if those haven't really started yet. Like in the US, a lot of them haven't even started yet. And there's a lot of things. So you could go onto the challenge pages to see what challenges are offered. There's a live chat with NASA experts who wrote the challenges, and subject matter experts, as well as Space Apps ambassadors who are NASA Datanauts who could help you out too. So there's a lot happening this weekend, but use hashtag Space Apps to connect with the community, use Rocket Chat to connect with the community, and thanks for watching. Thanks for joining.
Good luck.
Bye.
We actually edited it early.